Welcome back once again to Mastering Photoshop, and we're a little away from creating our first artwork in Adobe Photoshop. Before that, let's have a look at a few more tools. So next tool is the Slice tool, and as the name suggests, it can cut an image into slices, and these slices are basically this is a requirement of the web graphics design or the interface design. I can also save individual slices, so I can go to the slice select tool and I can select particular slice and I can save this much piece of image as an individual image. So this is a essential tool for the web design, and I remember when this tool was not there in early 90s, and we used to design the web interfaces or the web pages, and we used to struggle with the guidelines and the marquee tools to get proper slices. Now next tool is the eyedropper tool, and with this eyedropper, if you click on some particular region, the foreground color will change to that particular color. So this is one of the most useful tools of all, and you can see that it picks up the color wherever you click and change the foreground color to that particular color. The next useful tool is the ruler tool, and with this you can measure the distance in the info palette. You can go to window and say info or F8 to access window info palette, and over here you can see your ruler tool is giving you the length as well as the angle. If you hold on shift, it will draw a line across 0 degree. If you force it, it can also give you the line across 45 degree angle, and again forcefully you can draw a 90 degree and so on. So it gives you length and the angle. Now the next tool is the note tool. With note tool you can click on any portion and it gives you a notepad kind of symbol or the icon, and you can write your notes about that particular region of the image or overall image or any sort of notes when you want to share the source file with multiple artists or across multiple studios. And so this is useful for recording your notes about this particular assignment. And to get rid of all those notes, you can say clear all, and it will give you a warning that do you really want to delete all the notes. You can assign the color in case it conflicts with the background of the image, and you can also assign the author's name. Our next tool is the spot healing brush tool, and with the spot healing, the shortcut key assigned to it is J on the keyboard. So with spot healing brush tool you can paint over these kind of dots or patches or scars or blemishes, and you can get rid of it almost automatically. All you have to do is just paint with the spot healing brush tool on those affected areas. So this is useful for clearing of blemishes and patches while doing photo retouching. Now another tool in the series is healing brush tool, which is a little different than the spot healing brush tool, and the difference is that you have to assign the source area in order to heal the affected area. So if I have to get rid of these dots, I'm increasing the brush size, I have to hold on Alt key on some area of the good skin. So preferably let's take this area which is a good skin, and with the healing brush tool, let's paint on this region. So basically the healing brush tool took the samples from this area where we assigned with the alt key, and patched it up that area in this region with some blending. And let's once again look at the healing brush tool function. Hold on alt key, click on the good area of the skin and brush paint on the affected area. Next tool is the patch tool, and with the patch tool you can do more or less a similar thing, but you can select the affected area and drag this area to some good region, and Adobe will patch up with the help of that region the affected area, and it will heal that area. So once again, let's look at this region. So this is my affected area, which I am selecting with the patch tool, and then drag the selection to some good region of the skin. So you see, this is before and this is after. So that's the patch tool. And another interesting tool is the content aware move tool, which is a new addition to CS6. So let me show you some magic with the content aware move tool. So let's select these two animals from the grass field, and simply move these two animals to some other place. And let's change the mode before we do this to move, and move these animals to some other place, and let's see what happens. So you see, Adobe Photoshop has automatically filled up this region with the surrounding grass, so it is as clean as if there was no such thing over here. So let's once again try this. I have selected these animals with the content aware move tool, and let's shift these animals to some other region. And that's the magic of content aware move tool. Similarly, you can also use the other mode, that is extend, and let's see what extend can do. So I'm selecting the girl's nose, and with the mode selected as extend instead of move, I'm moving this nose a little bit in order to make it longer. And you see, the content aware tool has done a nice finished job. Now let's have a look at the red eye tool. Now red eye is a problem, as you see in the picture. It happens because of the inappropriate usage of the flash guns on the camera. However, most all of the digital cameras today have advanced sophisticated techniques and provisions to avoid the red eye. But in case you get this red eye issue in your pictures, then what you can do is select the red eye tool and select the pupil, and instantly automatically Photoshop will correct the red eye issue. Now let's move on to the next tool. Now before we move on to the next tool, that is the brush tool, let me tell you that I'm just giving you introduction of these tools and not taking you into the proper usage information about most of these tools. So I'll first quickly introduce you to most of the tools, and I'll skip some of the tools which we don't use as designers. They may be used for 3D graphics or for some other purposes like medical imaging and stuff like that. So I'm just giving you a very basic information about these tools, and we'll get a little deeper into the proper usage of these tools once we finish the introduction of these tools. So next tool is the brush tool, and obviously with the brush tool we paint. So we have the brush tool, we have the pencil tool, and two other different tools. So let's have a look at the brush. Now let's have a look at the brush tool, and the shortcut key to access the brush tool is B on the keyboard. And essentially the brush tool is for painting with some color, and you can change the shape and size of this brush. But brush tool in Adobe Photoshop is little more than just painting with some color. With the brush tool in Adobe Photoshop, you can do some texture painting, or you can also create some effect like this. Or something like this. So all this we are going to see in detail. In order to understand the brush tool much better, we will have a dedicated video for the brush tool alone, and similarly with the pencil tool and the other tools inside the brush tool options. Now let's have a look at another tool in the brush segment, and that is color replacement tool. And what it does is basically replace the color of the surface. So I'm taking the pink or magenta color, and let's see, with all the default option, I'm simply painting on the lips of this girl, and let's see if this can replace the color naturally. And this is what color replacement tool can do. Similar way, it can also change the color of the hair, though I am treating it as a rough work, and therefore it will spill outside the area, but all I want to show you is how easy it is to change the color of some surface with Adobe Photoshop. So that was the color replacement tool. It's not a it's not a transparent brush tool, by the way. If you're thinking that by lowering down the opacity of this brush can give this kind of result, no, it cannot. So a normal brush will paint something like this, and if you lower down its opacity and make it transparent, then probably it will give some kind of result like this. But there is some special magic with the color replacement tool, and because of that you achieve this realistic color replacement effect. Now let's look at the clone stamping tool. And the clone stamping tool is easy to understand. It will clone the selected area to some other area. So if I hold on Alt key on the keyboard and choose this center of this eye as my source area and paint on the other area, it's simply taking that picture and painting over this area. So it's as easy as that to understand. So that's the clone stamp tool. And there is a pattern stamp tool as well, and which is used to paint with the selected pattern. So I'm selecting a pattern here, and I can paint that pattern anywhere within the image. And you can do a lot more than this with these two tools. Let's look at the history brush tool. So before I go into the history brush tool, let's paint with some color on this image. And now you can go to the history brush tool and repaint on that area, and it's something like doing undo to your operation. So any kind of effect you work with as far as the brush tool is concerned, go to history brush tool and you can undo that by painting over it. Another brush tool is the art history brush tool, and this is not something you can use to undo things, but this is something to create the special effect, or sort of converting your pictures into paintings or abstracts. So there are several options, and we'll look into it later in a different tutorial. So that was the history brush tool, which is used to undo the painting, and there is art history brush, which is used for creating an abstract effect. So the next tool is the eraser tool, and obviously it is used for erasing the images, and it will use the background color, this color, for the erased area. So if I change this color, if I change the background color, the eraser tool will put this in the erased area. And when we have the layered images, the eraser tool will erase the image this way and make it transparent. And with eraser tool we have the background eraser, which is a little intelligent tool, and it recognizes the foreground and background. So when I paint over this edge of this image, it automatically recognizing the white color as the background and erasing it. So that helps in getting quick cutouts And we have the magic eraser tool, and that again works with some intelligence. It will erase uniform background automatically. And the next tool is the gradient tool and the paint bucket tool. So gradient tool is used to create the color gradients, and they look something like this. And the paint bucket tool is obviously to fill color in the uniform area or the empty area. So let's take some vibrant color and click over this area, and it will fill that area with that color.